Suki, so what do you prefer? Do you prefer to look at the suits regular first and then go look at the alterations, or you just like to start at the alterations just to see?
Let's go to the alterations because we're gonna end up looking at the. It's better to just look at the alterations because the suits.
I don't know if you like to build suspense or anything like that. All right, yeah, alterations. Let's do it.
Let's go. Where we starting at? So I can put it up.
Yeah,
Ooh, start with the camphor.
Yeah, just the dusk camper. Oh, is there new ones? How many 3-star new ones did we get? Is that just a return or is that a new one?
I think it's a
Like
return.
Looks like more of the same shit. The Palisade, the Dovin Wolf.
Are you going to limited or permanent?
Start with the limited. We'll look at the V2. They're both called V2.
Oh, V2's
what
in
the
permanent.
hell?
He's in permanent.
Oh my god. No, permanent.
Okay,
permanent.
Okay, so V2. Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with the. They're both called V2. Jesus. Okay. We'll do this V2.
All right. So the head.
All right. So just the 6 parts. It was originally a T-type. Most of these parts were high firepower ace exclusive, so it was pretty good at the time.
What's up, Rob?
Stable, because it had with technique type, 30% shot boost.
Hey,
so
real
pull
quick,
that up.
Dre, sorry. Call out what parts you're looking at so I can pull it up on the screen too.
Oh, we're just going through in order.
You going through V2 or V2?
Yeah, we're in V. Yeah, this one.
Which one, bro? They both the same.
Pull the head back up. Pull the head back.
Okay, bet. All right, say less. Let's go.
So the V2 head used to be a staple with technique type shooting power of 30%, and it looks like with bazooka category equipped long shot raise 15. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Bazooka.
So, is it worth alterating? It depends. Do you have 100+ tools just kind of sitting there begging to alterate some T head, and you don't have any other good kind of T heads? But as far as the trait goes, it could be better, but it's not unexpected from like a standard pool alteration, and it only costs three tools, so this isn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, this will kind of looks like something that could be good for bazooka users. Hey, thanks, Robo, for the follow, buddy.
I mean, most bazookas shoot the ground, and I assume you'd be kind of at long range with the bazooka. I don't know. I don't ever use them. I'm not a fan of the bazooka mechanics. But like I said, it's a staple part. Most people would already have this at level 10 with their pick tickets. So just getting the boost you can from altering it up isn't bad.
That's the thing too. Like you went 99 on something, and you gotta pray that it comes out good. Just like Just like the Barberto's arms, man. I put so much effort into that shit in 99, and it came out the way it was.
That second trait was just not salvageable at all. This one, it's at least usable. You're getting some kind of a benefit. So go back on the head. Let's look at the stats.
What phone am I using? I'm using iPhone 12. All right, we're going to the chest.
No, stay on the head.
Oh, okay.
And hit max. Let's check out the traits on the head. I'm sorry, the stats. So hit yeah. So it caps out around 88,000, and then the shot defense is relatively low. So with the 30% job gear, you're only getting about 500 from the shot defense. It's not terrible, but the way that they've worked out a lot of these parts that have a boosting trait on them, the actual like raw shot attack is usually on the slightly lower end.
Yep.
So it's not, like I said, if you 6-star this anyway and you have it level 99, it's probably going to outperform a lot of your existing shot heads, because if they're so high level, they're probably not going to reach that high at level 90 unless you get a bunch of duplicates for them. Whereas if you've already got your V2 maxed out, or you plan to max it out with purple tickets, then this one will be able to reach 99 a lot easier, and it can reach that ceiling a lot easier than Sokai parts. So it's not terrible. It has its place. It's got ace exclusive high firepower. It's good traits. So the head, not bad. Not great, not bad.
And I think like free-to-play players would have this kind of maxed out, right?
Yeah. As I say, if you've collected it from the tickets, or if you've been playing since release and you've gotten a couple extra copies, maybe from the guaranteed 4-star or the guaranteed, full set tickets, it's very likely you've got a handful of copies of these compared to maybe like say Sokai parts or other shot parts. But it definitely still has its place because it still has that first trait of with technique 30% shooting power boost, so it's good. It's not bad.
Bazookas. All right.
Move on to the chest.
It does still got that ace and high firepower.
Yeah, so that's what made this suit kind of very good for the time, because it made ace exclusive and high firepower easily accessible on the standard parts. But by comparison, you didn't have pick tickets and things like that, so you're kind of just at the mercy if they got you. So the original trait on this chest wasn't bad. It was the EX skill CD flat reduced if you were a long shooter, which if you're a long shooter, you're likely going to be using this part anyway. That second trait though, with technique attribute, enemy strong melee power reduced. Honestly, if you're a shooter and you're letting the enemy get close enough to you to use a strong melee attack, you're already in a bind.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a that's a mid move. But...
Yeah, it wasn't a very popular chest to begin with, but if you're running like a CD build, it's not terrible, but there are better options.
Yep. Still, the word tag's still sexy to this day.
And yeah, ace exclusive high firepower is good for a chest. The only problem is though, on the armor side, it's okay, but the shot defense is relatively low for a chest part, and on a damage build, you're looking to get those high defensive values to further boost your attack. So you're looking at about a third of 2,500, so a little over 800 shot attack from the chest, as well as the 3,300 from the base. So you're looking at about 4,100 from the chest. So not terrible, but that second trait just doesn't make it worth altering, in my opinion. Keep it as it is, unless you've already got it level 99. Yeah.
Oh.
What are your thoughts, Suki?
Alright. Oh, on the chest still?
Yeah.
I just like the design of it, to be honest. The part traits, the stats period. The only thing I love about this is the way it looks and the word tags, to be honest. There's always gonna be something. There's gonna be something bigger and better than this from the way I'm looking at it. Storm be like, nah, don't get this. But this was a suit that I think, was it probably like a good 6 months back, he was telling me to get some of these parts from this suit, the head and all this stuff. Since, I pull on melee.
Yeah, the head's good. Alright, let's move on to the arms.
Originally, when we were making your your shop build, you had tons of 4-star pick tickets, and so we did go to the V2 to grab some clutch parts.
Yeah, that was the main one. That's the only thing I remember, because I know for a fact he was telling me to go to him, and I would miss some parts and stuff. But yeah, they what? It was kind of hard to make a shop build from the free stuff. How far we're looking at stuff, but the head is overall good so far. So moving on.
The arms. I think these arms, they were a mag skill before, weren't they? Let's see what they gave us.
Damn, they didn't do shit to it.
No, it's only C.
Bro, that's garbage. No.
Disappoint.
No.
I was really expecting this one to be, a nice...
A B, at least a B plus, shit.
Yeah, because it had the high pierce, so I was thinking, like the Banshee shield, they would give us at least a B minus or something, Not to make it OP, but just to give us something. And plus the arms, they just look really sick. It's got that core Gundam design that all the others have, just with guns. So it looks cool, but they let us down.
Damn,
for EX skills, if you're using skins, the tags aren't really necessary. But if you do happen to use this for the stats, it does have ace exclusive high power. But
yeah, this is the first suit I ever seen kind of stick with the same thing, right?
Yeah, it was very consistent. It was very easy to get those two tags just off these parts alone, compared to having to mix and match.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, that C power mag. Disappoint. So this is probably another skip.
Let's get off of that. That's a disappointment. Was this a bazooka kit in the first place? Because a lot of bazooka stuff coming up. This.
Yeah. His main weapon, the big beam. It was the big beam bazooka, all capital letters.
Oh, okay.
Re-Rise was big with capital letters. So I don't recall the the legs being all that great. So yeah, with bazooka category equipped projectile speed, personally, I don't really see a use for projectile speed. By comparison, if it's all you have, use it. And then the second trait it got, wind shot attack over 8,000, easy to achieve. Long shot attack raised 15%.
Quick question.
We're kind of going off the same theme as the head.
What is that speed thing? Is it more of like more shots from the bazooka?
No, it's like it doesn't affect your ammo like that. So like as you shoot, it just travels faster. Right? So with the bazooka, you can see that to be very useful because the bazookas tend to shoot very slow. They have kind of a slower wind up. They shoot, the projectiles travel really slow, and then they kind of hit the ground, but it makes up for that by usually having an AoE type
AoE
setup.
blast to it, yeah. Okay.
Not bad as far as the design goes. These legs just kind of look like the other core Gundam legs. Exact same kind of design on that. Yes. It drops the high firepower for computers. I'm not really a fan. I personally, I can't stand 4 computers. Like it's just
we haven't found anything like super useful for that yet.
There's one back I think that gives a boost for computers.
Transform wasn't good for a while till Epion came through.
The Epion came out, some high tier parts to make use of it. Maybe if we get some really high tier like what's that called? Build fighters parts. Typically they try to jam 4 computers on all the build fighters or build fighters parts in some way. So maybe we'll get something greater out of that. But the legs are probably another pass for me.
Yep.
I'm not really seeing much out of this. Low shot, that's decent shot attack.
I still don't get the shot attack has to be over like 8,000 and stuff like that.
It's a very different game. When those types of traits were introduced, people were really just kind of starting to hit over the 15 to 20k mark. Yeah. So I think it was the first mainstream part with that trait was the G-Self atmospheric pack, and it was the arms. It was the replacement for the Codefire arms. Right. So you got a bigger boost in exchange for just meeting that threshold. But by that time, everyone was kind of already at that threshold. So maybe in the future state they kind of adjust these to make them a bit higher. But right now, just about all of them that are worth using, you're going to hit those thresholds way easy. Like it's not even going to be. That's just kind of like a free activation, right?
And the stats are just kind of low too. So I mean, this is what we get. It's a 4-star type thing right now, man. This
4-star ultra, yeah. It's just the low. Like if they would have played more to the shot defense instead of the melee defense on these parts, that I could basically see that kind of going. But only getting about 500 from the shot defense. And, having that off the 3,000 combined with the shot attack, it's at level 99. There's better options. For a shooter part, focus on parts with high shot defense.
All right, backpack. Let's see, missile pods.
But this was a B+ skill before. It was pretty decent, and they did bump it up to A-. Didn't touch the pierce. So, 30-second, 8-second skill. It's not bad. I can see this being useful, kind of in an arena type setting. It also kind of forgoes the high firepower tag with 4 computers, but on a skin where you're typically using the ZX skills, it won't matter as much. In arena, you're not going to really be building around 4 computers anyway, unless it's a 4 computers arena. Heaven forbid that happens. But
yeah, I'll say I'll grab. I usually will snag like the EX skills like this and stuff, knowing that I don't have that many good shot parts. Mostly use these on when laps come. So
yeah, if you're more melee oriented, it's definitely a good one to have. Tools aren't bad. If you have extra tools, it's not bad to use.
Yep. Stats on the backpack. It does got a lot of melee defense on the suit. Period. I think has a lot of shot defense. I mean, melee defense. Sorry.
So looking at the EX skill, it's actually not too bad.
Yep.
Yeah, but
still has the ace tag. So, but
yeah, that's what it's consistent. I think all these parts have the ace tag, so it's
pretty dope.
Pretty good.
Now the Fat Boy Bazooka. Look at that, the big beam bazooka. Oh, B+B.
Yeah, as I say, so this is a pretty sick looking bazooka, and with the upgrade, it's B+B. So just on its own, that's pretty pretty significant damage. It does have that high cooldown though, and I don't think it's a cutscene, so you're kind of just in that middle zone. But after the altar, the shot attack does top out over 10,000.
Yeah.
And actually does offer shot defense compared to some other guns that don't. I think only like the guns like the Wing Zero custom gun actually offers melee defense.
That's not bad.
So it's not bad.
Definitely picking that up.
Yeah, and that also has Ace exclusive, but then also for computers. So
Yeah,
not bad. It's a sick looking bazooka. Pretty good. Terrible.
Hell yeah.
If you've got the tools, go for it.
So pretty much head, back, and bazooka for that suit.
Yeah.
Basically.
If you're into the V2, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I keep pulling him too. I end up, man. I'm pretty sure I got his chest at 7 or 6. Pretty wild. All right, V2. Right.
V2, short V2. It's still so funny how they put these out on the same week. It's so interesting.
Are we sure we don't want to just go for the main event?
You want the
Yeah,
main
these
one
ones will
right
be pretty quick because the
Yeah,
V2
quick.
is kind of terrible. We won't take too much time on this.
now. All right, let's get it. Hey,
But
we
yeah.
gotta save the gotcha for last. Oh my god, I don't even want to open that up.
Yeah, as I say, this is it's just
Is game still worth to play? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
get after it, man. It's still popular. They're still adding updates regularly.
Updates. I mean, it doesn't hurt to play the damn game for free and get all the free stuff that comes out. Because when people come and they're like, "Damn, I missed out on that." Yeah, bro.
So V2, it's got Vulcans for the skills. You know, that's passive. That's just but
I don't even look at this. The head disgusts me. Oh, that.
this used to be a terrible part for shooters.
Wasn't he a Sokai?
This was a Sokai, yes.
Ew.
But they changed Gundam type to a shooter-oriented tag, so now it's a little better.
Anybody that's in the dojo chat right now, you guys can butt in too. Please do. This is what I want to do every Tuesday with you guys. So.
Which suit are you guys on?
We're on V2. V2 Gundam.
The V2, the VEE.
No,
or
the
the
V number 2.
V
Thank
number
you.
2. Yeah. We on the chest. We just gonna skip the head. That shit.
Yeah, so the chest looks sick. I like the way the chest looks aesthetically, but as far as actually alterating it up, I just don't think it's pretty. It does have higher shot defense. The alteration does
it's a nice skin.
make it significant.
This thing.
But you know, with rifle EX skill effect 22%, not great, and then it just adds melee crit on the second trait.
Which
So
makes
chest,
more
if
sense.
you've got the base chest already, it's fine.
I think they were trying to do something new with this shit when it came out, because it's not it, Chief.
Well, they're trying to do kind of like these hybrid melee / outshooter motherfuckers, because it has close range EX skills, but at the same time it's like, oh well, we're gonna boost up the shooting stats at the same time. It's
Gundam type,
odd.
high mobility. This V2 was pretty a disgusting suit, wasn't he?
It used to, no. Well, in my opinion, it wasn't really game breaking.
It
Nothing
wasn't?
on it was really fantastic. The EX
I'm
skills were low
talking
powered.
about like period, like the Gundam itself, not in the game, but the way they did him in the game. But wasn't he pretty much a beast suit?
He had multiple forms after the V2, so you had like the Assault Buster and then different types of that.
Because I know one
I've
of
known
his,
actually
I think
persons
his
see it.
last form was fucking OD. His last form was really nice.
They all look really cool. Like, I know the Assault Buster, the parts in the game for the Assault Buster look really good for skins.
See you singing it.
But yeah, chest,
And
other than
two
aesthetics,
braces.
just skip
What
it.
you mean?
It's not worth it.
MT. Me?
Go on for the arms.
The arms are pretty hardy, but it's just like, I don't know. It's a fan. You got to be a fan of it.
Everything.
So it's an
is-
integrated. So it's an integrated arm. It's got the shield, so it's gonna have those high base stats. since they removed the 40% restriction on sub slots for integrated arms, if you can match the tags, Gundam type, high mobility, you can get some really good stats out of something like this. But the EX skill used to be terrible, but now it is B plus B at level 1.
I forgot what this looked
B
like.
plus B plus.
Was it just like he just does like a vertical spin attack and it just goes forward?
I think so. I tried to use it sometime in the
I mean,
the battle circuit until I realized it was D.
Not bad for. Oh, let me go back to number 1. It's still pretty freaking fast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is definitely what the arms needed.
Even maxed out, it's still 3 seconds. Shit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
As far as skills go, with high pierce, high damage, like this is actually pretty good. This might be the only saving grace for the part.
That's the only thing I don't like about the shooting part of just the Gunpla period. They always like to put something with their arms, like double up on their shield and fucking arms. Even though I know we don't get the shot from the arms, it's more of the melee, getting their melee from there. But hey, yeah. I'll definitely get that arm if I had to get something from this. All right, moving on.
The legs aren't too bad. The legs are way more melee oriented. Pretty decent stats, high melee defense, Gundam type pro tag. It used to be a good melee strict, but now that they switch Gundam type over to shooter, it's really hard to kind of find that balance with some of these kind of in the middle parts. But first trait, the original trait,
second trait is better, but then it's a 50-50.
Man, I don't feel. I feel like reducing the enemy's like melee power, it does not work, bro. I'm sorry. Like going against like maybe 1v1 or something like that, it still doesn't. Unless you, I don't know.
You need a super stacked suit. I feel you, bro.
I feel like
because I'm thinking about one of my suits. One of my suits, like probably on every single part, it has a boost of at least 20%. So good job. You shut down one part off of my Gunpla.
Your suit has
so then it has melee increase 20, 20, 20, 20, 20.
So those are different types of additions. Whenever something like this goes into an effect, it's flat. It's of your total damage. Like this is going to affect your damage output flat. So if somebody has 100% melee reduction, you're going to take 0 damage. Right. So for these to be effective, for you to notice of it, you have to build completely around something like this. Like Rocco, he's got some really good defensive suits that kind of plays fully into reducing damage. But
I never seen. I wonder if I seen someone build like all the way through like reducing melee just to fuck with you and be a defensive pilot. That'd be dope. I love to see that.
But the second trait is really good for legs. It's really hard right now to find try to find available part
for the legs.
Have skill boosted traits. So having beam EX skill power boosted, and it has the extra 5% being on the second trait. This is not bad. So the legs used to be pretty garbage. Now they're just.
Alright, backpack baby.
So the Wings of Light. This was a really cool looking back, and it was a really cool looking EX skill, and they just kind of made it strong. It raises the attack of your squad by 30% now, and it has a heal. So it's not going to be the best for like all out damage, and it's not like an S power skill compared to most upgraded cutscenes, but it looks tight, has pretty decent stats for a backpack, and it gets a pretty decent boost on the part.
Pretty quick on cooldown.
Yeah, as I say, it's not a full cutscene, so you can get it up really quick. It's kind of like that new backpack from the Higher Than Sky.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. Well, I can see me picking that up.
It's a trade-off.
The gun, I have so many of these, bro. I think I'm like about 7 or 6 on these guns.
Well, that's good because you can combine them all. Because the traits on this one are really decent. So it originally had, if you were speed, it originally gave EX skill power boosted 30, and now it gives you a boost to the back part, which kind of plays thematically in with the suit and the Wings of Light and the suit. So this is a really good part. This is going to be one of the rare parts in the permanent pool that you will probably want to actually commit to if you're running a speed shooter that uses the backpack EX skills.
It's already alterated? Oh,
most of you do.
Oh,
yeah. Suki's got it. He's going to do it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, let me get that real quick.
If I want to save your... How many do you have?
I have 70.
Okay, you should be fine regardless.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so I'm glad the suit wasn't a complete disappointment. So not terrible.
Okay, limited, baby. Let's go to. So, this is the thing, dude. So, do you guys like to summon before you touch what you looking at? Because lately, I have literally been summoning, and then you guys will tell me if it's good or not. Because lately,
But to be honest, I mean, you pull to pull. I think everyone in this room probably doesn't need anything probably out of this. Do you want something out of it? It's a different story.
So, what suit do you want? And then it's also going to be like, in this case, it's not 2 shooters or 2 melee. It's a melee or a shooter. So
melee
those that are more preferential to one.
I gotta do this. This is me with melee. Go back. Go back. Alright, let's do Quanta real quick.
I like to look at all the traits, just so I can know kind of what I'm going after. Like if I get the best part on the very first pull, then I don't want to pull any. Yeah. But then you also take into account like attributes. So like the quant, I'm assuming it's gonna be a melee. So S melee, we're short on S. It's gonna be a good pull. And then wing, he's a T type. We've got plenty of T of both melee and shot. So regardless of what he is, he's just gonna be, if he has like, just game-breaking traits on or EX skills.
Well.
So,
all I gotta say, shot for sure.
Alright.
That's all I gotta say.
That's how we do it.
What I have to say for this one is
I already checked out both of them. So.
His twin buster rifle is pretty good.
Wait, we ain't there yet. We're not there yet. We at the head. Quanta head. But go ahead.
So the quant head. So I'm glad we came to the alteration first, because I would have probably gave this not a very high marks looking at just the first trait.
Yeah.
But enemy shooting power reduced for melee. That's pretty decent. You can't reach the shooter. Not terrible. But then when attacking with physical, EX skill power boosted 20. So that kind of sets up maybe the theme of the suit. It's going to be physical EX skills and things like that. Being the quant, it looks pretty cool. It's not bad. It's not a top tier head by any means, but it kind of has that blend of
like
defense and offense.
Yeah. It has a lot of defense.
Yeah. As far as melee attack goes, it's not the highest that you'd see on a melee head, but it's decent. It's got ridiculous melee attack or melee defense. So you're looking at around 4,900. So what is that? 18, 17, 16 and a half. 16 and a half, 1,600 melee attack from the defense, then add on top of the existing melee attack. So it's kind of a balanced out. It's not terrible. The head is definitely not what you're going to want to be targeting entirely so far.
I think that's like lately.
But
I feel like wing.
It's a bonus if you get it, though.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
At least for the second trait, it's like, yeah, sure, okay.
I personally wouldn't alter it, because even if you do alter it to get the second trait, if you have no other S melee options, go ahead. But there's probably better options out there for you to save your tools on.
But if you're building a melee build that focuses on physical melee, that's not a bad addition.
This ain't looking too good so far, bro. We at the chest.
The chest is pretty good.
The trait.
So quantum burst.
The ES skill.
That thing's stupid at level 1. My God.
So,
yeah.
So pop that open. Pop the EX skill open, Suki. Let's look at it at level 1.
18 seconds.
So, purge your armor, discharge
GN
GN particle, squad recovers 60% of your max armor. That is nuts. Already. Like but it's an awakening.
That's damn near higher than everything else in the game, I think.
It's a healing awakening, so that's definitely interesting. And then melee and shot defense of your squad boosted by 20. So those of you guys looking for high damages on the quant, it looks like this suit's posing out to be more of a defensive style quant suit, which is actually really good for diversity. So I like that. But 60% heal on an awakening is really really interesting. I like that.
Look at it, max.
Yes.
The max is pretty decent too.
Yeah, so it gets 2% per level, and then 1% for the boost. So pretty standard of what you'd see from most awakening type skills.
So I gotta say, I feel like the number one thing out when I try to go for a support build. So you remember 00 Riser's backpack?
Yep.
With the heal and what the other stuff it was. This would be a good adding to it also for a support build. For real.
So like they gave us with the first like 00 suits. It seems like they're giving us like a melee, like a high damage one, and then more of a defense support oriented one. So that's pretty good. The full saber had a lot of damage, a lot of weapons. This one has a healthy balance of weapons as well as more defensive style skills. But there's still others to go through, so we can kind of get to that and see how they're doing.
So real quick, the numbers wise, now I'm in a position I can actually pull the numbers. So the numbers wise, while this does not have the highest armor, it is in the top 10. However, the fact that the melee defense and shot defense is actually probably some of the highest in the game.
Yes, like 5,700 melee defense is higher than even I think the build project.
Correct. The only thing that comes close to this is pretty much the 00 Sky altar and the Shining altar.
Yeah.
Which part are you guys talking about?
The
QUANTA
chest.
Quanti chest.
Yeah, we made it to the chest.
Yeah. So this one's pretty good. Definitely recommend it if you're going for kind of a defense style build. The traits are there. If you're here strictly for the damage, you know this might not be the suit for you, but still. Got high mobility, which is kind of the new de facto melee tag that everyone's kind of building around. So it's pretty good. And then it's got the token pro tag. So let's move on to the arms.
If I do end up pulling that, I would end up putting this to my support build, to be honest.
Yeah, this is definitely something. Just by the looks, looking at just two of them, this definitely looks like something that you would put in your life.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Are we looking at altars now, or just the part?
Yeah,
we already went past the
currently
permanent.
looking at altars.
We're done with permanent already. We're on the gotcha now.
So we're on Suki Street. We're going over parts.
Yeah, Dre took over the permanent one, but anyone else can. If Dre wants to keep going, shit, go for it, bro.
I'll take over the Ring 0 part.
Okay.
So looking at the Quanta arms, so the theme with most of the 00 arms, at least the gotcha arms, they've all given some kind of a melee boost on these. So sticking with that, while pro tag melee power boosted by 17% at level 1, 30% at level 10, and then they lost us with the melee crit. This is what I was afraid they were going to do with the full saber quant if we ever got alteration for that. I hope they don't. I think I have it at like level 7. But
I believe they did the same for the Barbie arms as well.
Yeah, that's anything that they had before and they gave us that could have made it like top tier arms. So the Red Dragon arms still reign supreme. And now the Groundsel arms.
Red Dragon. Stats?
As far as melee goes, like I was saying earlier, for some of these boosting style parts, typically the offensive trait or stats are just a little bit behind the curve on most of the average parts. But this one, it comes in at 9,100 for the melee attack, and then that godly 5,200 melee defense. You're looking at about 1,700 damage off of the defense with the gear. So it's you got arms like single non-integrated arms that are capping out at over 10k. Like despite that garbage secondary trait, and if you don't alter it because you don't like that secondary trait, the base numbers are not going to be anywhere near this high. But with
it
that
is 8
melee
point behind the Vidar altar arms.
The base Vidar, like Vidar 2 arms.
Base Vidar altar.
Okay, so if you got that last week, that's good stuff. I think that the Vidar was also all crit, so that kind of plays into that same theme.
Outside of melee crit.
High mobility pro tag, so that's probably going to be the word tag theme. So here we go. All right, so this is what I like to see. This is some good stuff on the legs. When attacking with physical,
the best part.
So when attacking with physical, EX skill power boosted 17 at level 1, 30 at level 10.
We actually
shot damage raised 10%, EX skill power boosted 20%. So
we actually
very similar vein as the Barbados Lupus Rex arms or legs that we got from the Christmas banner, but the Lupus Rex still takes it out ahead because at level 1 the Lupus Rex is 20% on the first trait. It still maxes out at 30, but most of these guys that are pulling these they're going to be at level 1. So the Lupus the Rex just barely edges it out. But as far as legs go on the melee, if you're pulling this part right here seems to be what you want for this man. This is really good so far.
We need this. Melee need that. I'm not gonna cap right there.
It's rounding out the word tags pretty well. Instead of pro tag, it slips in close combat there because that's probably going to be another trait that you're going to want to run with this one.
Are the moon backpack physical?
Yes.
Yeah, the moon backpack EX skill is physical, so yeah, this would definitely work with that one as well.
Oh, backpack. Let's go.
It's also sticking with the trend of just having ridiculous melee defense. Also clocking in again at around 5,200, and then you're back up, Suki. You're too far ahead.
Oh. Thought we went to
back up to the legs. We're still on the legs.
I'm on the legs. I'm on the legs. I'm on the ankles.
So for legs, the melee attack is pretty decent. 3,600, and then the obscene, max out the trait. You're the skill, the traits, yeah.
And then melee. This thing has
melee defense.
Amount of armor and defense, bro. Oh.
Yeah, the armor on the arms is only about 2K. I kind of glazed over that one because it wasn't anything spectacular, but the legs are kind of bringing that back up, kind of in the leg fashion, and they'll probably see some reversed values on the backpack. But
I can go ahead and tell you the defense stats across all the rest of the parts are pretty much in the top 10, but not breaking the top 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's by no means game breaking, but because that melee defense translates directly into damage, that's probably what this is going to be. So the first half of the suit's looking very defensive, but you can kind of pick and choose some of these parts to add to your damage build. And the legs look pretty sick.
The top 10 under or top 5? I know one of the Exias had dumbass amount of armor.
Dark Exia is a bit dated, so it was. Yeah. It kind of got the shaft a bit.
Dre, sticking to the legs, let me ask you a question here real quick. What are the stats compared to the Barbie Lucas Rex to the Quanta T that we just got?
So nothing. So it's by no comparison. So the Barbie legs, the trade-off with that is that it had obscenely melee defense on the legs. So you were probably using that one more as a sub slot rather than a primary slot. Like I know most of the meta setup right now for melee legs is something like Shining build project Shining T on the front, and then using like the Lupus Rex trait on the back if you don't have like a second Shining T, just because the melee defense wasn't there compared to other top tier parts. But this one makes up for that because regardless of if you have it in the front or the back, you're going to be able to take advantage of that average melee attack and that obscenely high melee defense. It gets you kind of a really good all-around damage boost from both the traits and the stats. But
so if you miss those Barbie legs, would you recommend pulling on the Quanta T?
Oh yeah, hell, even if you got them, I'd still recommend it. Like the more the merrier, right? Yeah. Especially if you like the Quant.
These are better.
Most people kind of there. Like on average, these ones are just a little bit better. But if you're just looking at just the trait, then the Barbie arms are better, just because it has that initial trait being 20% at level 1. That's kind of how they're differentiating a lot of these parts, as more traits are kind of having the exact same as others. And that's kind of how they're differentiating some that are better than others.
All I gotta say is the RL is kind of looking kind of smexy so far.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely going to be a good banner. I don't think you'd be super disappointed unless you just pulled a bunch of heads like FG likes, or like Suki likes to do.
Yeah, man.
So let's move to the family.
Let's go.
Right. So
Trans Am 2.
Okay, so very original with this one, Trans Am Raid 2. S- cutscene, not terrible. It's another heal. So actually, I don't think any of the we were talking about this the other day. I don't think any of the other Exia or Seven Sword, Quanta Full Saber, anything like that. I don't think any of those offered a heal. It was all either defense raising or melee attack. But it has a higher than average heal. It's 40%. So that means the base one's going to be 30%, and then the melee attack increase is only 20% on the altar. So I'm assuming the base one is only going to be 10%. So it's a bit of a letdown. So a lot of this is really going to come down to, do you like the look of the animation? Because compared to most of these, S- altered EX skills, they're the same.
The bits. I hope it. I knew they were going to either make it in an EX or. It'd have been nice to have like a fucking moon backpack with bits that did physical damage. We need another one of those. That would be really dope. But
one thing to also note with this, just looking at like the raise the speed of your squad by 20%, I want to say this one is probably going to be an awakening style skill. So whenever you use this, you're going to get that texture change and you're going to get that awakening style buff. So if you're using the awakening on the chest, this is likely going to overwrite that awakening on your chest. And because it's an EX skill, depending on the level of your skill, that buff is going to last a much shorter time than the EX skill on the chest. So when you use these in conjunction with each other, you know, you got to kind of have to balance what you're using so you can take advantage of each of the effects. So overall, not bad, but it seems kind of like a copy-paste rename of some of the previous ones. But that's if you're using the EX skill. Most people are going to be using it on a skin, you know, so it's not bad. So, but looking at the traits,
the stats, yeah.
Stats. Yeah, I keep saying traits.
The
Pull the back up. Yeah, there you go. So looking at the stats, again, monster melee defense, average melee attack for the back, much higher armor by comparison to most other parts, and it also kind of keeps it the same high mobility tag, but also close combat. So if you build this suit, you're definitely going to get some high mobility use out of there. But for a backpack, you know, that melee defense and that armor is pretty good. Melee attack's not bad. I recommend this, you know, just for the factor of it being like the token skill of the suit, and it probably looks pretty cool. I'll probably have to pull to Twitter and look up the videos after this, see what they look like. Okay, so to the those standard saber.
This is so with these suits, I always just pull the damn weapons. I never get the full Exia.
So I felt like with the full saber, because he had like 5 or 6 weapons, I felt like I was only pulling the Katara and like the base saber, not any of the actual good weapons from the
Right.
Hopefully this one only having 9 parts, it's not just like, you know, an obscene part. But here we go, another double melee boost. So it seems like they're really throwing some balance on this one. So a lot of defensive on the upper half, and then for the melee and the legs. This is actually pretty good. So attacking with physical, EX skill power boosted 17. Melee damage getting raised this time. So if you activate both of these traits, you're going to be taking 10% more melee and shot damage. And as well as just a flat melee power boost at 20%, which that buffs everything. Melee attacks, EX skills, etc., etc. Melee-based EX skills. So this for a sword is really good. I would probably definitely recommend this one, especially if you can get a couple duplicates, which no one's super probably are. Or you're not going to pull it at all because the game hates you. We'll see how that goes.
I'm probably not going to pull. So far, I'm not feeling it.
I'm almost inclined to say this is probably the best saber traits we had in the game, like just a straight saber trait.
It's close. Some of the other sabers that we have in the game, like the Sazabi saber alter, and like the 00 higher than sky and stuff like that, they're more. They have good double traits, but it's more like cooldown reduction boosting, and since only cooldown reduction can be gotten on the gun and the sword, you kind of have to balance. Do you want more damage, or do you want to use your stronger EX skills quicker? So while this is good, it's not immediately going to be top tier because it has more damage. So depending on your build, you might want to consider, if you're using any A power or any S power skill, you're going to want that initial cooldown reduction, or just flat cooldown reduction that you can only get on the weapons. So it's going to be a trade-off. It's going to be a balance. But this is
very good point. Very good point.
This is a good weapon.
But yeah, definitely top. Like I would still consider it top tier. Like despite that, like that's if you're getting in like the min max zone. But like Burner, I know you particular, you try to get that Sekia Tenkoken off really quick. That 60-second cooldown, you got to take as much as you can get. So,
yeah.
You know, no point in having a damage boost if you can't get to it. But you know, if you're using a bunch of yeet skills that come down in 8 seconds or 3 seconds, which is now becoming more of the meta, then hell yeah, this saber is definitely gonna be what you want. And it just looks sick as hell. Like it's got that kind of arm extension style to it, like that with the Exia swords. So, and just that all green blade. It's definitely sick. But, it seems to be kind of on average on the melee attack, you know, topping out over 10k, almost 11k.
That kind of looks kind of meh. I mean, I think that's just a thing now. It's starting to be a thing. Instead of going a little bit higher. With the
traits that it has, I wasn't expecting anything too ungodly when it came to melee attack. But, you know, high mobility pro tag. You know, I think they're just going to put high mobility on every single one of its parts. But it is the quant, so it does, you know, quantize, move around really quick. So I can imagine high mobility being an apt.
So hard to hit. Damn thing.
GN Sword 5, pick it up with the legs. It's good stuff. Move on to the Great Sword. The two-handed sword. The blade.
Are we Just gonna go to straight by one by itself. There you go. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
And this
here
is
we
to
go.
Dre's point that we made prior.
So when using a skin, the melee weapon that you have connected to your main suit doesn't really matter compared to the weapon on your skin. I personally hate using blades to attack with. So this on the surface looks like it's a really good blade to have on your main suit and then have like a non-blade on the skin so that you're not swinging that giant goofy thing around. But while high mobility, which you're definitely going to activate with the suit, melee power boosted 17%. That's money. That's exactly what you want. You know, flat melee power. It's not relegated to beam, EX skill, or anything else like that. It's solid. That's what you want. And then speed attribute, initial EX skill charge boosted 6%. Like Brennan was saying, like we talked about on the last sword, this is probably going to realistically be the better of the two swords as far as effectiveness go. Just how restricted we are with the initial cooldown tag. We're starting to get a couple more parts on the head that offer initial cooldown, so maybe that can be a different balance if you want to, you know, double up damage on the sword if you can get a head that has a decent amount of EX skill power. But both swords so far looking fantastic. Looks like it has the exact same or similar stat distribution of the base sword, as well as high mobility close combat. So
I'm streaming right now.
Not
so
bad.
D-Tron.
not a
I'll
bad
come
sword.
in here and see
You're
what
not going to be
we're talking about.
disappointed if you pull any of these.
Yeah,
I'm here.
that's good. Yeah, damn.
If you-
Well, if you want to see what we're talking about, I'm live on Twitch, and there it is.
Yeah, the blade definitely good.
Yeah.
Definitely pick it up. Wouldn't be disappointed to pick that up. All right, so let's look at the base rifle.
Oh, base rifle. Speed.
My boy.
It's kind of like damn.
So I've never been a fan of the double-O guns, just in any fashion, just
Yeah,
the way that
they're just so
Hell.
fucking ugly.
I mean, they're turning guns into swords. You know, they're squall line art in here, so you know they're doing what they can. If you like the gunblade concept, it's pretty cool. But in this game where you're mixing and matching, they just don't fit into anything else. But hopefully this is hidden under your skin, where you have a much better looking gun on the outside. But as far as the traits go, you know, the first one, we're back at that defensive. This time going for shooting power reduction. So, you know, it's a good healthy balance. You don't want to have like too many OP parts on any one set. And then speed attribute, shooting power boosted 20%. So this is definitely a very balanced suit. You know, it is kind of skewed more toward melee in a way, but still offering a gun that does offer shooting power. This kind of gives, you know, those speed shooters an option if you're kind of going that defensive route on like a squad suit or something.
You're
Terrible.
not shooting.
It's a good
shit.
support
You're
suit.
not shooting nothing
Yeah.
at all if you're his infighter, but maybe outsider.
But so let's take a look at the stats. So the stats kind of tell an interesting story with the niche that this thing is going to fill. It does offer melee attack, and it's
melee
always good to have a gun that offers melee attack and melee defense. So you're going to get about what is it, 9, 18, 27? So about 950 attack just off the melee defense. So about 2100 or so melee attack just from the gun. You know, and of course that's at level 900. But you know, it's not bad. It's got the high close combat tags. I remember back in the day, close combat was a bit harder to get on a gun. It's a lot easier now with the more diverse part pool and with the 6-star system.
It was
but-
like the most thing you'll probably get is Axia's fucking gun sword.
Yeah, I mean, it is a gun blade, so it makes sense that that's close
Yeah.
combat. The shooting power boost, you're not going to be taking advantage of much on a melee suit, but it's glad it's there.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
not bad, not bad. And it has, you know, 10k shot attack, so it's something. All right, so let's look at the long rifle. I always thought long rifles were weird on 00 suits, but here we are.
Buster
Right.
rifle mode.
So yeah, it's a gun. It's a shot EX skill. It's A plus B plus, so the damage is going to be great. But it's on a melee suit, so if you just really love the GN sword guns, I guess this is for you. Because it's an EX skill, you probably wouldn't be putting this on your suit if you're min maxing. It's going to be on the skin, most likely if it's what you're going to use. But if you do put it on the suit and just forego the EX skill, maybe subslot it with some better traits, for a melee gun, for an S melee gun, it's not terrible. It's got the same story as the regular rifle. 1300 melee attack, 2800 melee defense, so you're looking at about 2100, 2200.
Hey, Dre, just sorry to interrupt here, but if you look at the initial cooldown on this EX skill, it's at 15 seconds. So when you switch back to level 1, it's at 23 seconds. So do you think we're going to see like an actual like cutscene for this gun?
Well, I mean, you're wrong.
It's
They
not.
have B+ skills that are cutscenes, but we're probably about to pull up the Twitter and look at the cutscenes now that we're through the suit. But most of the B+ skills are, if it's not just like a wind-up cutscene type thing, but it's not going to be a full.
It's a slow wind up, just FYI.
Yeah, just a wind-up. Okay.
Is
But
it
it's
him
not like
shooting?
an A power.
I never got the chance to see it, but isn't it like a big laser shot with the quantity? Like just a.
Hey Suki, can you pull up the Twitter and we can look at the videos?
Yeah, they're up.
Let's get through everything first, cause I do have to get up early, so let's do this. And
so that was the quant. Kind of a recap. The legs, both of the swords are probably going to be what you want out of this one, and then just the backpack if you're into the kind of 00 cutscenes, if that's what you're into. I was really hoping the arms were going to be like top tier on this one, like the top tier S arms, but they got us with that crit increase, so I definitely missed the arms on that one. So legs are what you want, and both of the swords, maybe the backpack.
I have the Twitter ready once we're done with the wing. So, well, that suit. I mean, they got some stuff in there for sure, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that, on quantity. How about y'all? What about you, D-Tron? I know your ass like that. See, anybody else pulling on him? Pass.
I'm gonna pull the step up at least. If I get something good, if I don't, but those legs,
I don't even know what's on there.
like to just kind of have it. So if I get lucky with the wing, depending on what we see on the wing, I gotta see.
Oh, no, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, I'll probably end up pulling just to get the legs, or at least that.
I'm not
either
gonna
one
lie,
of the
the
swords.
legs. I think melee is needing that. We do need those legs. That might be a bullseye pickup for me, to be honest. That might be on my bullseye pickup.
Hey guys, don't forget to put yourself on mute if you're not talking, so we don't get the feedback. Yeah, it sucks that it's kind of limited to just physical, but a double boost on the legs, regardless if it's shot or melee, it's definitely something decent. And it seems to be somewhat universal, right? So it's EX skill power boosted, attacking with physical. So if you're using like physical mags or physical shot, then you can use the Quanta legs on a shot build. I mean, it's going to affect the EX skill damage either way.
Yeah, we definitely need
Food for thought.
more on the legs for sure. All right, Wing 0. All right, Storm. Let's give Dre.
Yeah, go.
Round of applause there, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Okay.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you for the analysis.
Oh shit. All right,
Yeah.
all right, Storm. Take it away, man. I already know.
All right, so the Wing 0, just too little didn't read. Looking at the quant, the Wing 0 does seem to be slightly better in its own regards to shot, while the quant did have really good defense. It wasn't exactly, in the top 5 as far as like progression goes. But the Wing 0 right now, we'll go over each one, but it does look pretty good. So right now with the head, of course the head, alter to get your EX skill power boosted if you're long shooter. So that's super easy. However, when buffed, your EX skill is boosted. So now, granted, this plays off the fact that this does have the zero system chest. So, granted, when zero system is active, you are getting another 35%. As far as stats go, it is in the top 3 parts in the game for shot attack. Even stat-wise, it's pretty good. It actually edges out the Versago chest break ultra just by a hair. in some regards, but overall the head is pretty good. The armor's a little low. Actually has well, the Versago chest break actually has no armor, but overall it actually pretty good head. And of course, when it's fully altered,
Pretty good head.
so the chest, of course, we get the Zero system, so pretty much just like the other Wing Zero.
Oh, we still on head, right?
No, I'm on chest now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little bit faster than Dre. I know
Alright, cool.
time
cool.
constraints.
Alright.
So chest, of course, is Zero system. We already have that in Zero. Stat wise, this is actually a pretty good. If I had okay, so the stats, once again, like I said before, this it's pretty good. The beam, the resistance is kind of funky, low, but the rest of the stats are actually pretty good. The shot attack is low, but I mean, once again,
For it's
you're
a
not getting
chest. For it's a chest
You're-
though.
yeah, but you're not getting for an EX skill chest. You're not getting it for the stat, but it's fair. So
Yeah.
next,
Next it is.
the arms. So the arms, of course, EX skill. The traits are technique attribute, enemy melee power. So it's kind of like, I guess, the head on the quant had the same thing basically, except filling the head.
Yeah.
So I mean, technique attribute, easy to get. When attacked with beam, shooting power boosted by 35%. So I wasn't going to interrupt Dre when he was talking about this particular part on the head of quant, but running traits like this on a support build. So if you don't have a support build, I always, this would be kind of useful. So if you pulled this and you're like, man, this part's trash, maybe not. If at the end of this event you still had an alteration left, this may be worth it in order to put on a support, because not only is it going to reduce the enemy's melee power, but its own shooting power is going to be boosted. So I like to run a funnel support. So its beam shooting power is boosted, but it also has a few parts like this. If I pull this part, it's going straight to my support shooter. Of course, like I said, the stats. The stats are pretty good-ish for shooter parts. It definitely edges out the. It's a little bit better than the V Xeon Alter by a hair, not give or take in a few areas. Of course, this one has resistance where the V Xeon did not. The high new, I think it actually beats the high new in some regards. No,
At least it doesn't
beats
have
it
a
in
shield
armor.
and arms.
It beats it in arms, but I mean in armor, but but once again, like I said, a lot of these parts rank in the top 5. Unlike the quant, it was outside the top 5. So, legs. So with legs, we have the trait, of course, while exclusive long shot attack. So if you don't know what long shot attack raise, basically means that when your reticle is all the way ballooned out at max range, doesn't matter if you're a middle shooter or a long shooter. If your reticle basically has the fully out, you do more damage. That's really hard to do, or
Especially with long shooters.
In my opinion, it's stupid to have to worry about to be at that perfect range. Because face it, sometimes when the enemy spawns in, guess what? They're gonna be right next to you. And guess what? Are you gonna just not shoot them until you get out of range? Probably not. So, kind of not really that great of a trait. Of course, secondary traits: ranged weapons, EX skill power boosted. So clearly, it's playing off its own suit because it has 2 sets of weapons. One of the weapons has an EX skill. There's not a lot of weapons that actually would benefit from this already. So I feel like the legs ain't really the greatest things in the world.
We always get some hit and miss somewhere. We're gonna get it.
But however, stat wise, armor pretty good. Melee and shot defense is really good. The beam resist is par. The offensive stats are actually right there in Sokai range. I mean, these are pretty good. I think this is the only part that probably sat outside the top 5 comparable to every Sokai limited part we've gotten so far in the past 6 months. So this was probably the most let down part in my opinion. So the backpack. So of course we have a EX skill max output twin buster rifle. So it's D Pierce, D plus, of course I think when it's altered.
What is it at not altered? Was it like is it still B power or less than that C?
It's B unaltered. I don't know. I'm
It
pretty
might be
sure
less.
if it's B plus, then it's definitely with C probably.
It's a B.
Unaltered?
None altered. It's a B.
Wow.
Wow. So they kind of gypped it.
You
But
are.
so this is actually just a slow wind. Very. I've already looked down, so what do you know? It's a 30-second.
You see all you nut.
Now I will say, so it's a 30-second initial 120. This is actually, if you were a fan of the satellite,
What's up, Badwee?
been waiting for a part that is like the satellite cannon, congratulations, here it is. Because
What's
basically
good,
it does what the satellite cannon does. He
Going
goes
over the
up,
suits.
he looks down and shoots. So of course we'll see that in a little bit, but it's not a very long one. It's about as long as, it's actually shorter than the double X satellite. But
What's good, bro?
stat-wise, let's see. This one does sit
guy doing? Oh, thanks, bro.
kind of in the middle.
Chilling.
So Kai.
We're going over the so the
Limited.
update just came out at 9.
Nothing.
We're
Shot
still going over the
defense
suits right now. With
Probably
my,
one of the highest. Shot attack is
and right now he's
excuse
talking.
me, is actually one of the top in the game, I think. Yes,
wait.
it's definitely. I think top
On a
3.
gun? Are we on a gun?
What?
What
No,
part
we're
are
on
we-
the backpack. We're actually
okay.
going to the gun though.
Okay. My bad. I was talking to chat.
Oh. Excuse me. So, the gun. So, we finally get our twin buster rifles uncoupled. So, the traits are, of course, are beam shooting, crit boosted. Crit until
Oh
you
yeah,
can actually
we
get
very
the
deep in
damage
this.
numbers. I don't see crit being that useful. I mean, some people swear by it. I'm not one of those people. And then, of course, backpack EX skill power boosted. To me, I think the Red Warrior.
I love it.
do you
What
have
was you
dual
playing
guns?
today, man? You excited for Monster Hunter?
Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I think his altered guns were actually, I think, better than the trait wise.
You getting a
Of
new
course,
Monster Hunter?
if this
You
is
expert.
once again playing off the
God,
backpack, this is backpack EX skill power.
Bro, chill,
Personally,
bro.
I don't like
You
parts
about to make me
that
cry
only
like
power
Master
up
Gundam.
one set of
And-
EX
and-
skill. Now, granted, there
and
are
Domon.
some like shields.
Domon.
Shields are very
You're doing
picky
so
about
great.
What parts?
Keep up the
or what traits
consistency.
they have. So if you get a shield that even
I was
boosts
off
your
today. Just
backpack
chilling. Okay.
or leg EX skill, then that's a complete win. But all these other parts that they pick one part to power up. My opinion, they don't get the same love or attention that other parts get. The shot attack on this gun will be in the top 3. The double, the only thing that beats this currently is the double beam rifle from the Double Z Ultra.
Okay. I'll be
That
done
is
soon.
currently
I'll be in there.
in the,
Shut up.
I guess, blueprint build.
Did that account for the shot defense?
Say what?
I said, did the Double Z have shot defense?
Yes, the Double Z did have shot
Been
defense
working?
too.
But yeah,
Okay.
I am getting Monster
So
Hunter
this,
on the
so
Switch,
but this is right underneath
you,
that.
You know, you got room
Um,
for your boy when it
This
comes
is right,
out, boy.
this
You
is
know it.
also right
Let you
under
know,
the legend.
I think I was
Just
playing
a hair
World when it first came
underneath
out.
The legend.
So
as far as
I was
shot
like
attack,
100
but
rank,
it does beat it in shot
maybe
defense,
70 or
though.
something
So
like that. So
this one's not bad.
yeah, we'll
the
party up for
other
sure.
gun.
Longsword Master right here.
Of course, is the coupled long
Longsword
rifle,
master.
EX skill rolling
want that
buster.
tail
So
off? You want
here,
everything else off? I
this EX skill is literally rolling buster. That's it. It is literally so. I'm really interested what they're
Is
going
Rolling
to
Buster
do.
again?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna be. This is kind of crazy they would do this. Definitely
I
seeing how
knew it. I
Wing
knew
Zero.
it, bro. I knew
but
it.
I think everybody knew it. They couldn't. But I mean,
how, Sway?
now save this Twitch because let's say we get Wing Zero Endless Waltz Custom, so not this one. We that gets altered. Maybe that part will become A+, A+.
Hell yeah. Well,
Where
we
this
got.
one is A+, B+.
It comes out the 23rd or the 23rd.
That's the only thing I could.
No, it comes out the 26th.
That maybe.
So,
But as
2 more
far
weeks.
as
Yeah, two more weeks.
as far as basically the Rolling Buster, so
I will. You got a Switch, right?
anyone here who doesn't have Rolling Buster, congratulations! Here's your chance to have Rolling Buster and a
It's-
very, very good one.
This one's better than the one we have, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
alone-
one we have is
alone-
D.
Yeah, D. So literally, this could probably. I mean, oh my God, big. Jogo's gonna be such a breeze. Like,
Yeah. The other thing is,
I mean,
I was like, bro, they're just gonna put Rolling Buster on this because this is the one that actually started the Rolling Buster move first. But I wanted to see like maybe a big ass AOE ass shot, like just full screen, just like just nasty. I wanted to see. I get too excited because of all the EX skills, all the shit we seen in the anime, and then this shit happens.
That's what supposedly the back is, I think.
Yeah, it's just it hurts.
Just the
It hurts.
concentration of shot.
It hurts every damn time, bro. I get my hopes up so much, and like me not having my hopes up at all, and just seeing it from, it's like we knew it.
Yeah.
But we already knew it.
The last part, of course, is the shield. So the shield has 2 traits: long shooter job, buff EX skill effect. Once again, it's playing off its own suit. So basically,
Would
activating
love to
zero
host
system
you. Please,
is
bro.
the EX skill effect.
Oh
will
yeah,
stay up
day
longer,
one switch. Ay.
which in
It's gonna be
turn
lit.
helps
It's
the
gonna be
other
lit that
head
day.
trait. Head trait,
I already
remember, of
have it
course, when you're
pre-ordered.
buff,
I'm ready to
you
play,
have
bro.
more EX
So
skill power.
that
So you kind of
Friday?
see how this works together. The shield
That
helps
Friday,
the chest.
I'm off.
The chest
so
helps
we can.
the
You plan on
head.
playing all day?
And
I
then
plan on
like,
playing all
basically
day,
the
bro.
whole suit's now powered up.
Because
And for
weekends
backpack EX skill power,
focus on videos.
they gave this 2 backpack skill powers, so that's interesting. So usually they don't double stack that trait, but in this one they did. Interesting.
Huh.
That's
No machine cannons. Interesting. Well done. I'm glad they refrained from that.
interesting. Anyway, so of course
Oh.
we did not get any burn mode, but the stats on the shield. The only thing.
Kind of low, isn't it?
So what?
Kind of low for shields, right?
I don't know,
Armor.
it's pretty high. As far as damage goes.
Armor-wise, it's not the highest. I think it's maybe top. It's top. I think it's barely top.
Bowing.
If
That's
not
definitely just at me, bro. and
the
I'll
shot
jump in your
attack,
server.
I think it still loses. It is right there, top 3. I think I think the narrative still beats it out. The narrative, I think, is the highest shot attack shield in the game. Period. Bar none.
Yeah, the narrative and the reborns are pretty high up there. But this one, because it doesn't have an EX skill, you can actually use it.
Yeah. So this, I mean, this shield's nice. I mean, the shot defense is
Hell
the
yeah. I'm gonna walk in this.
is kind of low. That's the only thing.
I'm gonna be like this, bro.
It's barely in the top 10 for shot defense, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
Well,
Long
it's-
sword, ready.
It's high in comparison to offensive
you get
shields.
'em?
So like,
Correct.
The
there is
G-cell-
trade-off.
yeah, the G cell was like 51, and like the reborns
Yes,
is
I
like
dig it.
in the
You're
mid
so
50s.
cool. No, you're
but the
cool,
reborns is also
bro.
just 2K shot attacks. So
You're
this shot
cool.
attack combined with slightly lower shot defense for shot attack, it's really good for an offensive shield. But yeah, the defense.
All right. We're gonna see the EX skills, and then are we gonna watch Storm burn his Haro?
Are we okay?
You already did?
No. I said, are we okay? I'm ready.
Yes,
All
we are.
right. Y'all watching? I didn't know they were gonna move it to the side like that. They pushed it right to the side. So that that third EX skill, that's what I was talking about. I wanted some kind of like.
From Naruto.
I wanted some type of like bigger.
Always dressed like a ninja. So they were like,
that wings.
who do you think you're talking to? I'm always wearing them.
Here, tell me.
What was that move? I gotta look at it.
That's the backpack.
Was it pretty low or was it bad?
No, it's AB.
Man, I wonder why they didn't make it S. That shit was.
If they made that, see, that's gonna be an AOE.
Did he not have any cutscenes?
Bro.
I mean, as far as
Bro.
cutscene,
There's like
no.
S power cutscene.
Yeah, only cutscenes.
Alright, this one. Let's see it.
Your screen is frozen for me. I'm trying to load it.
That's pretty saucy. I love the look at that. I thought it was gonna be that beam. Yup. I really thought
The
that.
double up backpack. Transient.
Okay. I knew they were gonna do something with the mids, but it would have been nice to have look. Okay, that's pretty cold. I'm not gonna look at that. That shit's pretty cold. That was pretty dope.
So that is a 14-second EX skill.
So wait
It takes
till
14 seconds from start to finish.
Wait till we see you with that.
From start to finish.
Forget that.
No, we're gonna hear Dre say
If
this
any
right
of y'all
here.
ever activates that in Jugga, you get kicked.
Wait, which
Bro,
cutscene?
look at this.
I am
You're in a
going
group.
just to see you try that shit.
Oh my god.
Which scene?
The double O, the QUANTA backpack.
Oh,
they did make this ass though.
let me go roll on that.
If you're in a group setting, it cuts off the initial part, so you probably only do like the rise up.
But if it's doing like something a little bit if it's like one of the other MMs, it's probably gonna cut it in half, dude. To be honest. It's probably gonna cut it right in half.
It's 5 seconds regardless of whatever skill it is.
Yeah.
It's just whatever the wind up.
That shit's funny. I already can hear Dre bitching, bro. Bro, kick him. Get him out of here.
I will completely abuse that system.
Oh my gosh.
Do it.
Bruh. Alright.